Craving that buttery popcorn smell, that thrill of a packed movie theater. Well, today's deep dive, straight to the heart of Bollywood.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
PVR INOX, India's biggest cinema chain.
India's answer to AMC, right?
Exactly. And we're digging into their latest report, some fascinating articles, even a map of their locations.
A map. That's cool. What are we trying to figure out?
Are Indian movie theaters really back after, well, everything? The past few years haven't been easy.
Definitely not. The whole landscape's different now.
Right. So PVR INOX, they just released their performance report, Q2 FY2025, like their latest report card.
Grades are in. What'd they get? Passing.
We're about to find out, but one thing caught my eye right away. Stree 2, this Bollywood horror comedy, it's killing it at the box office.
Stree 2. How big are we talking?
Not just a hit, highest grossing Hindi film of all time.
Wow. Okay, now that's saying something.
So unpack this with me. Their report. It mentions a 91% jump in box office revenue this quarter compared to last.
91%. That's massive. Post-pandemic surge. Or something else going on.
That's what I'm hoping you can help me figure out.
Well, could be a few things, right? People want to go out again. That desire to actually share an experience.
Makes sense. Been cooped up too long.
But Stree 2, it's success. There's a deeper cultural shift happening too, I think.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Or comedy. It's a tough genre. You got to find that balance. But when it works.
It really works.
And here, it's tapping into something specific. This humor. The horror. It's how we deal with all the craziness in the world today, don't you think?
Huh. It's like we can laugh at the things that scare us. Makes them less scary.
Cathartic.
So Stree 2, it's more than just a good laugh. It's reflecting something about this moment right now in India.
Exactly. And PVR INOX. They're smart to capitalize on that.
Totally. But it's not all sunshine and roses, right? Even with this blockbuster, things are still a little shaky.
How so?
Well, compared to last year, overall admissions are down. Almost 20%.
Yeah, that's not insignificant.
So what's the deal? Are people still unsure about going back to the movies?
It's a mix, honestly. Got to look at the bigger picture.
You mean like economically?
Exactly. Inflation's a global thing now. And what's the first to go when people are feeling the pinch?
Entertainment, going out, that kind of thing?
Right. Suddenly, those rupees are precious. So how does PVR INOX convince them, hey, spend your money here?
Right. It's all about competition for those leisure rupees, so how are they doing that?
Well, remember that stack of press releases you mentioned? One of them talked about bringing back old films.
Oh, yeah. Like classic movies, a blast from the past.
Exactly. Nostalgia's powerful. People love revisiting the films they grew up with.
Comfort food, but for your eyes.
And it's smart. In uncertain times, people want something familiar, something comforting.
And is it working? Are people actually showing up for these older films?
It is. The report said re-releases. They made up a decent chunk of admissions this quarter.
Okay, so how much are we talking? What's a decent chunk in this case?
They said 6%, which I know doesn't sound like much.
But every little bit counts, right? Especially in this market.
Exactly. To me, it shows people still want that movie theater experience, that shared energy, you know?
It's true. You can't get that at home on your couch. Even if it's not the latest blockbuster, there's just something about being in a cinema with other people.
Totally. So they're doing the nostalgia thing, but that's not all. They've got a pretty diverse lineup of new releases coming up, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not just relying on the classics.
Big Bollywood films, obviously.
No.
But also some big Hollywood releases, even some regional cinema.
It's interesting. They're really trying to offer something for everyone. What's the strategy there? Are they trying to appeal to every single person in India?
Well, think about it. India has such a diverse film landscape, right? Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood. Each region, it has its own flavor, its own fan base.
So it's about catering to all those different tastes.
Exactly. By offering that variety, PVR INOX casts a wider net, gives more people a reason to come back to the theater.
To get off the couch and back into those comfy cinema seats. And speaking of reaching a wider audience, this map of their locations is fascinating.
Yeah, what'd you notice about it?
They're not just in the big cities like Mumbai and Delhi. They're in smaller towns, too. Places I've never even heard of.
It's ambitious. By going into these smaller markets, they're tapping into a whole new audience. People who might never have had a multiplex cinema near them before.
So it's more than just entertainment. It's about bringing people together, bridging those divides.
Absolutely. And giving them a shared experience, which, let's be honest, the world needs a little more of these days, don't you think?
Couldn't agree more. It's like they're weaving together a tapestry of Indian cinema with all its vibrancy and diversity. It really is. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, dug into the numbers, looked at PVR INOX's strategies.
Even touched on some pretty big cultural trends along the way.
Right. But you know what it comes down to for some listeners? Should they invest? Buy stock in this whole Bollywood comeback story? What's your take? Expert opinion, please.
The million-dollar question? And honestly, no easy answer. This quarter, it's looking good. That box office rebound is impressive. Street 2, huge win. And they're trying new things, reaching new audiences.
So are you feeling good about PVR INOX?
I am cautiously optimistic. Cautiously. Because, well, the Indian film industry, it's always been unpredictable. Tastes change, trends fade, and the economy, that plays a role too.
So what's the key for PVR INOX? What do they need to do to really succeed?
Adapt. They have to keep a close eye on the audience. What do people want? And be ready for those bumps in the road. Because there will be bumps.
So don't just read the movie reviews, right? Check out the financial reports too.
Exactly. Understand the business side just as much as you enjoy the films themselves.
This has been fascinating. We went from spreadsheets to Street 2 and beyond. But what I'm really taking away from this, PVR INOX, it's not just a company.
What is it then?
It's a reflection of India. Right now, all the anxieties, the humor, that love for a good story, it's all there on the big screen.
It makes you think. What other stories are out there, waiting to be told? What will those future blockbusters tell us about India? About where it's going?
Now that's something to think about. So next time you're at the movies, really pay attention. You might just catch a glimpse of India's future right there on the screen. Until next time, happy viewing, everyone.